What is up, my friends? What is up, my friends? Make sure to like the stream. Okay, my friends, let's get into this one. So, I have two main things that I want to go over: SpaceX and the little girl that drowned at Laguna Beach, which is absolutely terrible. So, I want to start off with the little girl. So there was a very very unfortunate event that took place at Laguna Beach. So so at first it seemed like a teen got washed away. But my friends, it turned out to be much worse. It was a 5-year-old girl. Absolutely terrible. So her name is Ameda Mia Brown. So it says here. So what exactly took place? So what happened was on the evening of Tuesday, June 9th, Amada Mia Brown was walking along the shorelines at Treasure Island Beach with her mother and brother when a powerful 10-foot wave swept all three into the ocean. Bystanders successfully rescued the mother and the brother, but the young girl was carried away by intense rip currents. The incident occurred during a massive South Pacific swell that produced dangerous 20-foot waves in parts of Southern California, leading to high surf warnings. The search. So it goes on to say here that a 30-hour search operation led by the U.S. Coast Guard and local agencies covered over 90 square miles before being briefly suspended. So it goes on to say that on the morning of Thursday, June 11th, aerial surveillance spotted a body roughly 300 yards offshore from Christmas Cove. Marine safety personnel recovered the remains, later identified as Brown. Terrible news. 5-year-old girl. 5-year-old girl. But now my thing is 7:30 p.m. So for them to be swept away, they must have been pretty close to the water. So it's nighttime. Why would you take a 5-year-old girl that close to the water, especially at night? Okay, so I'm guessing that the mom probably wasn't holding the 5-year-old girl. What the fuck were you thinking? Okay, what the fuck were you doing? Parents, I want to hear from you. Would you do this with your 5-year-old? I want to hear from the parents. Would you walk the beach at 7:30 p.m. with a 5-year-old girl? Would you? So this death, I chalk this death up to pure stupidity. Pure stupidity. 5-year-old 5-year-old girl. Because when I heard that it was a teen, that really didn't make any sense. Because teens, I mean, they're usually going to be able to float above water for a good period of time. Correct. But with them not seeing anything, this made me think that it was a child that was much younger. Lo and behold, it turns out that it was indeed a 5-year-old girl. Okay, so I want to hear from you from the parents. What are your thoughts on this? So it's just absolutely terrible, tragic. 5-year-old girl gone way too soon. Oh, absolutely terrible, man. Brutal. So yeah, parents, you got to be careful out there. But even regular people, uh, the uh, the rocks that certain beaches, you always see people taking pictures on those. Those are extremely dangerous. They're slippery as hell. But then you mix in the rip currents. Recipe for disaster. Especially when you mix in booze, because some of these people they're probably chips. It's going to be a good picture. Fucking next thing you know, they get swept into the ocean, chilling with Moby Dick. So okay, we're moving on. Moving on to SpaceX. SpaceX officially goes public. So let's see, when it first opened, it opened at $151.42. It is now $173.42. So, my friend, this is not financial advice. Your money, your problem. Would it be wise to jump in? Oh, I think so. Okay, because this gives me vibes of brain dead, brain dead winners, brain dead winners like Google, okay, like a Facebook. My friend's like a Microsoft. So it's much harder to pick those boomers now, but I think this has very good potential to potentially reach 1,000. Okay, 1,000. Or even go above. Okay, so my friends, so I want to hear from you. Will you be getting the SpaceX stock? I'm going to be getting some of it because I do not want to miss out on another Nvidia. I do not want to miss out on another Google. Okay, I don't want to be a fuckwad. Okay, I don't want to miss out. So that's not bad, but do not panic because it will go up and down. Okay, so if you know anything about the stock market, it fluctuates, goes up and down. That is why when you're focused on the income side of things, you don't really worry about it. But at the same time, you had to put in some safeguards, meaning, and if your overall value, you could call it the NAV. I just call it the overall value. So if it drops below a certain number, even with the income being brought in, you might want to trim. Okay, you might want to trim because next you know your portfolio could completely tank. Okay, so even with the income way of investing, you want to have safeguards in place because we all love the high yields. Oh, especially like the granite shares. And granite shares I only have one because I made my money back, and so I'm just letting it pay me now. 300% yield. 300% yield. So if I was to have most of my okay, when you have a 300% yield, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, the now is going to keep trickling down. But if you have proper growth slash proper stable stocks, you're going to be fine. But you do not want to buy too many of those high yields, especially the high yields like granted shares, the 300, the 200% yields. No, no, no. So the higher yields, you don't want to go too crazy with those. So yeah, so it will fluctuate because that's what the stock market does, especially with a infant stock that is hyped big time. Okay, so I think this is one of those where you just keep it. If you have money to burn, you could buy multiples, uh, buy multiple stocks. Correct. So yeah, so it started off at 151. It is now 174. So yeah, it's doing decent, but it's just too damn new. You would have to wait maybe like 2 years to see where it's really going. But even then, with a tech stock like this, expect volatility. Okay, now I want to get into some Iran news real quick. Make sure to like the stream. Sub here. Sub to my Substack at on the mark. So according to Pakistan, credit to CBS News. So it says here, quote, final agreed upon text, end quote, of U.S. Iran peace deal has been reached, Pakistan says. So it says here that Pakistan's prime minister said, quote, a final agreed upon text, end quote, of a U.S. Iran peace deal has been reached, and that Pakistan, a key mediator in the Iran war, quote, is now working closely with both sides to finalize the next steps, end quote. So it goes on to say that Iran's foreign minister said a deal has, quote, never been closer, end quote, and that the details of a memorandum of understanding with the U.S. will be shared publicly, quote, in due course, end quote. So there you have it. We have never been closer. So we remain on the hamster wheel. Let me put put a poll. Do you support that Iran war? Do you support Iran war? Right there. Okay, good stuff. A little bit. Yeah, right there. So, do you support the Iran war? So that's pretty much all you got. All I got for you guys, the FIFA is here in LA. Uh, how excited are you when it comes to the World Cup? I personally like football. Football. I like the UK because you cannot fuck with the European soccer because you watch Major League Soccer. It's good, but then man, when you watch the Premier League and oh my god, you watch like those clubs, Arsenal, Paris Saint Germain, the Spanish football teams. There there is a clear difference in U.S. football and European slash Spanish football because they are just the elite of the elite. And my God, the cardio that those young men have is crazy. The the referees back and forth. You want to get a sick workout in? Those fuckers run so many miles. It's not even crazy. Every game, back and forth, back and forth. So I really love the cardio, but the game is a beautiful game. Plus, I mean, the UK fans here are a bunch of savages. I absolutely love it, but but the MLS fans, they're passionate too. But you cannot compete with European soccer. That's one of my favorite. The Barclays Premier League and all that, Chelsea and all. Oh, I love watching those games. So that's definitely on my bucket list. I would love to see a Liverpool game live in Liverpool. So I would love to do that. So how excited are you about the FIFA World Cup? So that being said, make sure to like the stream. Follow me here. Let's get to 1,000. Follow my Rumble at On the Air with Mark. Sub to my Kick at On the Air with Mark. So that being said, I hope you have a lovely Friday. Stay safe out there, my friends.